I'm back, guys. How are you guys doing? It's the evening session. It's already in progress of the first day of the World Indoor Championships in Poland. This is a watch along. What that means, we're going to watch. And we're going to talk about the competition. And it's a space for you to just debate, have fun. I like to call it the community. I'm not showing anything on screen, so for those of you who are regulars, you know that. For if it's your first time, I cannot show things on screen, obviously because of copyright issues. But it's just a space for us to hang out and watch the proceedings. The men's 1500 meters are now on track. First three of each heat automatically qualify for the final. I'll go through some results of the women's 1500 meters that just finished not too long ago. Probably the biggest disappointment so far from that would have been Gemma Reekie from Great Britain. One of the faster times of the evening, but not qualifying because qualifying standards are based on positioning and not times in the first round here. I will start with the women's shot put because that's going on as the first final of the evening. Nobody over 20 meters yet, but Chase Jackson in the lead on her second attempt, going into the lead with 1996 ahead of Johansson from Sweden, Sarah Mitten from Canada in third position currently, and Yemisi's Ogunle, the Olympic champion, has a 1946. She's had a clean series so far, no foul throws. However, out of the medal at the moment, Jessica Schilder, too, also another athlete that I thought would potentially win it all, still out of the medals at the moment. But we'll wait to see. I'm just kind of glancing on this 1500 meters, and this dude is like way out there. The Slovenian athlete is just, he is basically running this 1500 meters with about almost a 60 meter, more than 60 meter lead. I suspect what he's trying to do is to make sure that he makes it into the final and not potentially have a sprint out in the end. But we'll get back to that in a second. But this is wild. I've never seen this kind of qualification in a long time in the men's 1500 meters. He's basically he has more than a 60 meter lead. Unless he's like run out of gas, I don't think the field will come back to him. But he's basically doing this by himself. Yeah, he's actually the field is actually coming into him right now. I don't know if he has the legs for this. Everyone's caught up on him. Yeah, he's not going to make this. They're going to eat him up. He's gone. So Riva from Italy now takes the lead in this 1500 meters. And the Slovenian athlete foolishly went out too hard and now is at the back of the pack. That was madness. But real insane. Riva from Italy, Spencer there from Australia, and the American athlete, I think, Nathan Green, just coming across. 3:40:52 is the time. The times are irrelevant. Just pretty much you just need positioning. So the first three automatically qualify the final. So Riva wins this. I could get these results up on the screen. It's now available. So Riva, Spencer, and Green, automatic qualifiers to the final. And Markel from Slovenia, that was just terrible running from him. He was pushing. At one point, he had over a 70-meter lead on the rest of the field. But that's unsustainable for an athlete of his quality. And got run down. Anyway, hopefully you guys are doing well. I'm glad that there's a few people on the live. Let me know where you're coming in from. Just a little bit of an overview of what's happening today. The women's shot put already in progress. I'll get back some results there. The heptathlon for men, high jump, already going on. Women's 1500 meters completed already for the evening opening round. I'll get to that in a second. The men's 1500 meter on track, first of 3 heats just completed. And men's triple jump starts in another 21 minutes or so. Then the semifinals for the women's 400 meters at 2:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Following that is the men's 60 meter semifinal, which will serve up a nice, exciting start of the end of the evening's proceedings, followed by men's 400 meter semifinal. And the finals for the 60 meters is at 4:22. So another 2 hours and change. So I'll be here for a while. I may take some breaks. We'll have a little bit of a downtime, but that's where we get a chance to chat. But in the meantime, let me just do the opening results of the women's 1500 meters just to give you a sense of what happened there. Guillermo there from France comfortably winning 14 minutes 16:25 ahead of Nikki Hills, both of them qualifying along with Cavalli from Italy. So the top 3 going through, as I mentioned. The second heat, Berkey Hylam looked good to me. Kazmarska also. Ejor Sanders, the Kenyan, ran a really good race. And Gemma Riki was a bit floating at the end. She was trying to get back into that, but couldn't. 4:11:61 is pretty quick. That was a pretty quick heat. If you look at the results of the next one, no one close to running that in the first heat. If you looked at it, 4:16:1. And imagine running 4:11, even 4:12 and not getting through. And in the final heat, Hunter Bell, Supreme Control in the end, Jessica Hull also, and Gracie Morris from the United States qualifying. This is the downside of when times don't get you through. But as you know, in the distance running in the last couple of years, they've moved away from using times, especially to get you into the next stage. And in this context, it's based on positioning. So because of that, we've lost Gemma Rike, who came into this championship running really well, I thought. Maybe had the quickest time in the world. I have to check that again. I can't remember. But not advancing, that has to be a tough one for her. So we'll see. And so second heat of the men's 1500 meters, including the world champion Isaac Nadar from Portugal, from last year in Tokyo. Again, top 3 automatically go through. So I don't know really what to tell you in terms of any kind of tactical sense of the race. You know, I suspect if you're the likes of a Nadar, Philstrom, and a few others, you probably would just think about this differently. But it should be an easy run for the 1500 meter champion. And so the question is, do you push him hard if you're one of the other athletes, or you just kind of hang with him because he's going to outkick them for sure? So that's the big challenge here. So we'll see. But yeah, that will come up. I'll give you some updates of that if you're not watching it in a second. And I'll just kind of show the results of the first heat of the men's 1500 meters. And so it ended with Federico Riva from Italy, Spencer from Australia, and Green from the United States. Those three automatically qualify into the final. Yeah. And just for a little bit of excitement, in not too distant future from now, we'll see the 60 meter heats, semifinals rather, and stacked. Heat number 1 might be the easiest. So you think about a Brian Level, and he should be liking this. Heat 2 features Kishane Thompson, also Trayvon Burmell. That's going to be a good run there. And heat number 3 includes the likes of Jordan Anthony, the new sensation this season for out of the United States, turned pro, and Akeem Blake and the defending champion Jeremiah Azu. So it's not going to be easy. It's going to require some good running from all these guys, but we'll see what we get in not too distant future here. So let's see here on this 1500 meters. I think I forgot what they went through on 1600 at 600. I missed that. There's about 4 laps or so to go. It's like 159, almost 2 minutes close to 700 and something meters. So it's not particularly fast. Philstrom, Higgins, and Gormley in the lead. The Nadir's just hanging out in lane 2, making a bit of a step now. I'm not sure if he's gonna take over the race, but he has a lot of kick. Yeah, what's going on, Brick? Yeah, it's back. Yeah, we're back for sure. Just watching some of these 1500 meters here. It's gonna be a long evening. Isaac Nadir still running in lane 2. Not the most efficient at running, but I think he's better than these guys by far. So, but with another couple of laps to go, I think he should try and make up room now on this backstretch. He's kind of sliding into third now. And then I think as we come around the bend, he's probably going to take over the lead. Philstrom singing the lead. So final lap in this. Nadir's still running in lane number 2, almost as if he's not interested, but he's motoring now in lane number 2 again. He's now moving up into second position. Philstrom in the league is now back into lane 1, and he might be overtaking Philstrom on the home stretch. Is he? No, he's not. He's checking. So Philstrom is going to win. Nadir's going to allow him to win this. So he qualifies 3:43.38 is the flash time. And I think Ciaz from Spain has the automatic spot as well. I'll look to see the results in a second here. Yeah. So Philstrom 3:48.33, 38 rather. Isaac Nadir 3:43.58, and Carlos says 3:43.75. Those are the guys getting into the final of the 1500 meters. Luke Hauser missing out from the United States. I don't know if I like how Isaac ran this race. He could have took better control for me. At least I never like to see these athletes running the whole race in lane number 2. Why run more than you need? But he is the world champion, so what can we say? All right, let me get back on this shot put. I want to see where we are in shot. Oh, Chase Jackson has now gone into the 20-meter territory, along with Sarah Mitten decided to step up as well. So we are at 4th round, 2014 for Chase Jackson, having a brilliant season as usual. Sarah Mitten, 1978. Johansson from Sweden still in the medal position here. Jessica Schilder moving up. And Yemisi's Ogunle pushed down to 5th. So let's see if the Olympic champion or Schilder can make it onto the podium. Can they dislodge Johansson from Sweden? Fanny Roots, I always like her too, but she's not having a great series either. Just in the 18-meter category, that's not going to cut it. But 2 more rounds left, so should be some big throwing there in a not too distant future. I'm not seeing all of the throws. I'm trying to check to see if there's an alternative stream for the throws. At least my service isn't providing that. I saw a couple. I saw Chase Jackson's throw earlier, a couple of throws, but I haven't seen all of the throws, which is not good. Yeah, it's unclear to me why they're not offering specific streams for some of these events. All right, so there's going to be one more heat of the men's 1500 meters. That's coming up in a second. I'll just put up the start list. And this Dutch kid was running decent this year too, Chappelle. And who else is there? Festus Lagat is in the mix. Yeah, so we'll see what we get from that. Top 3 go through. So it's about getting in those top 3 spots. Not particularly how fast you run, that doesn't count. Unless you need to push it in order to get rid of a few people. It's a lot of tactics here. And then after that, we'll get the men's triple jump. That won't start until about 2:35. All right. I'm just going to check the shot put again because I want to see what's going on there. So Dongmo fouled on her 5th attempt. She hasn't been throwing as well, and she's a superb athlete. Smith also fouled. Fanny Roos is up for the throw. All right, it's 1500 meters off. Let's see what we get here. So it looks like Legray, Garcia, and Rudolph there at 200 around 32. It's pedestrian pace right now. Okay. The Norwegian athlete, I think, is just like he's pushing it a bit now. You have to know your ability here because you have to push this. So Moberg from Norway starts to pick the pace up. He's now leading out in front of Garcia from Spain. And I think that's Festus Lagat now coming up into lane 2-ish, into lane 1 again. And he's motoring in at the moment. So let's see what's... So at 400, we had a minute 02. So not particularly fast. But Moberg still leaving, or Moberg. Is it Moberg? Yeah, Moberg. Festus Lagat hanging out right behind Garcia. So a bunch of guys just in the same way along with the French guy. No real separation here. I suspect once we get to around 1,000 meters or so, they'll start pushing for position. All right, we are just approaching 1,000 meters now. And a bunch of guys are everybody's... Oh, there's a little bit of jostling there. Garcia in the team. What's up, Carl? What time Eastern are they running the 60 semis? The 60-meter semifinal is 3:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 57 minutes from now or something like that. Somewhere around there. Just under an hour. I don't like this from Festus Lagat. He's been boxed in. I don't think he's going to make it at this level here. He has to go wide. So Garcia in the lead now, one lap, less than a lap to go. And Festus Lagat is gone. He's running like he's running backwards. So Garcia has a sizable lead. He's about 10, 15 meters on the rest. Schappel from the Netherlands, and Hoberg is looking across, but he doesn't have anything. He's out. This guy just ran from about 6th or 5th position into right into second. So it's gonna be Garcia. Garcia takes it 3:38.19. I think that's Schappel in third, if I'm not mistaken. And Legray, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. My French is not always the greatest. In second, let me get that up. Ooh. All right, so those are the 3 athletes qualifying. Let me get back to the comments. Yeah, no problem, Carl. What did you think about Navaska's run this morning? It was not a good run this morning. I wasn't quite sure what he was doing. I think tactically, Navaski was. Let me take this. I think he was asleep. I mean, I don't. To be honest with you, I couldn't really process what was happening there, and he had to sweat. I mean, luckily he got through because a lot of the times didn't go as fast as you want. But when you run in the first heat and you don't take control, and you have to, and he was hanging out too much for my liking in lane 2, and he should have pushed it somewhat because Peter can kick. We know that Peter's a quick guy. Peter, I think, ran 143 already outdoor this season, if I'm not mistaken. I have to check that again. Yeah, the Aussie guys, their season's already up and running. So I think I don't think he would have wanted this type of performance, if I'm being honest with you. But luckily he made it through, so he has to change that racing strategy because it's going to be a challenging race, right? So what was it? He ran 146.34. Boyle ran 145.87, and Clay from Japan ran 146.08. Just to check, I was just trying to check the times again. Yeah, I don't think it was a good run from him. Likewise, from even Roban from the St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and his season's kind of iffy to me too. He didn't look good, Roban, back if we think about what he did at the USA indoors, not the USA, the NCAA indoors rather. I mean, it was a tough heat, obviously. Had Cooper locked in house in it too, and Boldek from Croatia decided that he wasn't playing any games. But here you have to push, right? I think you want to be in the top 2, and I think Navaski had the ability to be in the top 2. He should have been in the top 2, but he didn't. But fortunately, he's qualified. And when you think about the semifinals, let me get it up. Yeah, I agree with you. It probably looked. Oh, that's not what I want to share here. Nervous is an interesting point, Carl. I don't know, he could have been nervous, but he's been at this stage before, so I don't know how much of a nerves he should have here. He was in a world championship final, and he's been running fairly well this season as well, right? If you think about the context of how the Jamaican men have been breaking the indoor national record back to back, the likes of Taylor and the likes of Rivaldo and him, and moving the So you would think his confidence would be high. So I'm not quite sure. Nerves, I don't know. I don't buy it. He could be nervous. I don't want to downplay your point there. My position here is that he shouldn't be nervous. This is not his first rodeo, and he comes in here with the ability to push to get into a final. Now, the good thing is he's still alive, in the sense of he will be in the first semifinal. That's going to include Ben Patterson, Clay again, Mark English, and Peter Boyle. So it's gonna be a hot final, very hot final. So I'm not expecting him to finish top two in the semifinal. So to get into this final might be a challenge. English has already run 144.23 this season. He was looking good. He was in part of a couple races with Elliot Cranston earlier this year on the World Indoor Tour. And I like him a lot. I think he has a lot of ability. I mean, Peter Boyle, as we know, has already run. He's in 143 shape outdoors. So he has the ability to run really quick. And, Ben Patterson's also really tough. I anticipate that this is going to be a really fast semifinal, but only the first two get through. So how does, I don't know. I think his championships may end at the semifinal. Mindset, it's going to be 3 semifinals. For the 800 meters, it's going to be 3. Yeah, so, yeah. And only the first two get through. Let me get back to the comments here. But I think Navaske's fortunes have changed. Much is expected of him, so he's going into these things with a little bit more expectation that could make a person nervous, regardless of how. No, that's a very good point. I take that. Right. When you think about what they've been doing, pressure might be there for sure. Yeah, a lot of people are watching him, and if we consider that, when you try to think about anytime you put on your national colors, and certainly if you put on a Jamaica shirt, there's a lot of expectation. A lot of people watch. So I hope he runs well. He's going to have to run one of the races of his life if he's going to make it into that final. And yeah. And I think I answered that already. Mindset. If you were referring rather to the 800 meters. So let me just check just see the qualifying, the summary here of the 1500 meters. So these are the guys going through. Garcia there, obviously. Riva from Italy. Philstrom at Naidar. It's not the most exciting of 1500 meters, I would imagine. But it should be good. Should be good. You got a world champion. I think Philstrom could pull a medal. I like him. I don't know if he will, but we'll see. My money is still on Isaac Nadar. Appreciate that, Carl. They're just showing some recaps here of Hutchinson's run. I don't know why they're not showing the shot put. And speaking of shot put, I need to check the results on that again. So it's done. Almost done. So the medal, it is done. So Johansson gets a medal. Whoa. So Chase Jackson wins the women's shot put. 20.14 meters. The only woman in this competition to go over the 20-meter mark. Sarah Mitten from Canada, 1978. And Johansson from Sweden in a national record as well. 1975, I think. Yeah. Schilde fouled on her 6th attempt, so she's gone. Likewise, the Olympic champion Yemesis Ogunleye, and yeah. The 60 meters aren't coming up until 3:16 p.m. Uh, is that Gigo? Yeah, there's some times for that. Yeah, coming up in at 3:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So there's a lot of time. Next thing on the starting in is gonna be men's triple jump. Then at 2:42, women's semifinal of the 400 meters, then 60 meters, then semifinals for men 400, then the final. So there's some time. Yeah. But shout out to Chase Jackson for winning the shot put. I'm getting a look at Sierra Mitten here. That was her 1978 jump. Yeah. Yeah, there is Jordan Scott in the triple jump. Let me just do the starting lineup for that. So my favorite tonight I think is Trekkie, but it's just kind of a regular. I'm just thinking about it that way because he's been jumping well this season. I'll never count out Andy Diaz Hernandez because he's super talent, special. But I don't know. He hasn't. He's only jumped 1690 this season. Jordan Scott too, from Jamaica. He could be on the podium. So we'll see. Scott comes in, I think, with a third or second longest jump, along with Su from China. But I never count out the Cuban. He just needs one big jump and he could win it all. But Trekkie to me has been most consistent of all of the triple jumpers in this season, which is not a lot of, at least here, which is not a lot of data points so far. But if Jordan Scott jumps well, he could be on the podium. He should be on the podium. I don't know. The Cubans are always stacked. You got Martinez here as well, which you just never know. He can come up big. Likewise, oh yeah, actually it was Echeverria, the other Cuban that has the second longest jump in the world. Sorry, correction. He too could be on the podium too. Yeah. Yeah. So they're just showing the shot put, which is like a bit of a recap of it. The final is already completed. And I'll just put that back up. So Cheers Jackson wins it 20.14 meters ahead of Sierra Mitten 1978 and Johansson from Sweden, national record. Been throwing well this season too. 1975. And to get on the podium ahead of the likes of Jessica Schilder, who I'm gonna stop putting in my prediction pools anymore, and also Yemesis Ogunleye, the Olympic champion, has not ever had a good season since the Paris Olympics, which she was a surprise winner there. Just looking at this throw again. So those are the medals handout for the evening. Are you guys playing a prediction game from World Athletics? So far, I've not been doing well. Let's see where I am. Big throw. Well, not a big throw for Chase, given her how far she's thrown this year. She's what, era record this year, right? Was it in 2095, if I'm not mistaken, or 2094? But big gold medal for her, going over 20 meters. That's always a good thing. I want to see these predictions. Well, they haven't updated the prediction stuff yet, but all right. So next on the track is gonna be women's 400-meter semifinal. I'll get that up on the screen in a second. The it's gonna be the top finisher automatically qualifies for the final, and the four fastest times. The 400 meters at this championships for me kind of open. I don't know where the medals will go. I think Henrietta Jago, I think she's in heat number. Let's see where she is. Not quite sure where she is right now. She perhaps could be the favorite, but you don't know. Lika Klava could step up. Why is it not showing? What is this? Yeah. Lika Klava is in heat 3. Jega is in 4. Yeah, I'm right on that. And Buka Veka is in heat number 2. Yeah. We haven't seen a lot of fabulous times this season over 400 meters, but decent times. But we can't. Not every year is Christmas, I guess. So I'll wait to see what happens in the semifinal to have a better sense. But I like Jega. She could definitely do it. You never count out Buka Vecchia, formerly Kazmarek. She always has been on podiums before, has the ability. Perhaps this is Lika Kava's year. She started off the indoor season with a couple of world leads, then that was taken away from her. No Amba Anin rather at this championship. So there's a few athletes that are missing, but still enough quality to give you something that could be interesting. So that's coming up on the track in not too distant. Well, what time is it now? It's 2:37 my time. So yeah, that will be up on the track soon. But it's a very pressure environment. Only top place guaranteed a position. And let's see where we are in the 15 in the triple jump. So it's Trekkies already out in the lead with 17-17 in his first attempt in the men's triple jump. So not a bad jump from him there. 17-17 to start. Who knows? That could already be a podium jump. That might be a podium jump already. Sue 16-64. I'll just say I'm a bit upset that I'm not getting to see the triple jump in action. I'm not sure what's going on with this feed here from the United States. Perhaps I gotta find another feed or so. So Jordan Scott now in the lead, 17-29. That could also be a podium jump. It's a good jump there. All right. So in another 3 minutes, we'll get the semifinals for the 400 meters for women. So things are moving along nicely. And we're all excited for this 60-meter semifinal. But I want to see this 400 meters as well. And the men's 400 meter semifinal comes up after the 60 meter semifinal for men. That should be exciting as well. Yeah. So Jordan Scott in the lead in the men's triple jump out of Jamaica, 17:29 right now on his first attempt. Yasser Mohamed Treki from Algeria, who's been having a fabulous season, 17:17 in second. And Su from China, 16:64. Martinez hasn't jumped yet. Echeverria hasn't gone as well. And Andy Diaz, I think, is up on the... And Andy Diaz Hernandez is up on the runway right now. Clip, do we have runners in the 400? Let me get the starting lineup again for that for you. For the women's 400 meters. I can give you the answer to that, but I'll just show them. So this is heat number 1. Semifinal number 1, rather. That's semifinal. No, that's the men. Sorry, what am I doing? Women. That's 2, 3, 4. There's no Jamaican women there, if that's what you're asking. No, didn't look good this morning. Is that Carol in the house? Actually, there was no Jamaica. In the men I meant to, they didn't look good this morning. Kennedy looked really sluggish this morning. Yeah. Carl saying, start of the athletic season. Ooh. It's been going on, you know? It's been going on. All indoor has been going on, but good to have you. All right, so semifinals for the women's 400 meters on track right now. Only the winner qualifies automatically. Only the winner. And then the 4 fastest times. So let's see what we get. Actually, Zapletalova did not start. Whoa. So she's a scratch. She had a good 50-78 this season. So I don't know what happened to her. Maybe she got hurt in after the semifinal, after the opening round. I hope she's okay. So she's not running. So you have Manuel from Czechia. Let's see. It's on the way. So it's a good run there. Right now, the Kenyan is trying to make up the stagger on Manuel, but I think Manuel is going to come off the top of the bend in front of her. Yeah, only 3 people, Carol. And so Manuel is opening up a 3-meter lead on the Kenyan and Lear from the United States. And she's motoring. This is going to be quick. It's like 34, 36. This might be... It's definitely going to be less than 51 seconds for sure. Yeah. Yeah. So she's motoring now. Now she's checking. And she's going to cruise across the line. That is pretty good running. 50.96 for Manuel from Czechia. That's a personal best for her too. Yeah, Zapletalova did not start, Carl. I don't know if she's injured. She looked decent. She's a really really good jumper. Runner rather. Yeah, that was impressive clip. Let me just answer Leighton right now. He's texting me. So let me check the triple jumper. Andy Garcia Hernandez in the lead already. I tell you, you can't count him out. As soon as he gets into the jumping, Diaz Hernandez already. It doesn't matter what he does before the start of the season. He finds a way. But so Jordan Scott now into second position, 17:29, but Diaz Hernandez, super special talent there. That 17:47. Trek you rather down to third. Let's see if if the Jamaican can hold on to a medal. All right, so semifinal number 2 coming up in just a second here. It's going to feature Bukowiecka from Poland on home soil. One of the better 400-meter runners for the last decade, so we'll see what happens. I suspect she should win this one. Carl says, just my luck, somebody just put a 3 p.m. meeting on my calendar. You said the 60 starts at, the 60 meter starts at 3:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. And heat number 1 features the likes of Brian Level. That's the softest of the 3 heats, if we want to think about it that way. Yeah. Whoa, Garland just went over 205. Whoa. And he's a big dude in the men's heptathlon. Cool. Yeah, push back your meeting, Carl. Cliff says it would be hilarious if we got silver in the long jump. That would be a streak coming all the way from. Yeah, that's true. It's been in there for a while. We'll see what happens in the long jump for sure. When is the long? Is that tomorrow? Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're correct on that, Carl. You are absolutely correct on that, Carl. Andy Diaz, former Cuban athlete. As we know, a lot of Cuban athletes oftentimes change allegiance, much more so than other countries. Obviously, Jamaica is going through a host of that right now. I'll be in Turkey in May. I'm gonna try and I'm actually gonna try to go to Turkish Track and Field Association. I don't know if they let me in yet, but That's one of the things I'm going to ask them about. Why they're poaching. Uh, anyway, the 400 meters are on track right now. Is on track rather. The women's second semifinal. The first person goes through automatically. Anything other than a Bukovecchia win here, it's gonna be a shock. So a clean start. Natalia already eating up on the Portuguese athlete, and she's motoring away. She's gonna come off the bend, and now she's gonna cut over now. Easy, and she's opening up what, like a 3 meter lead or a 2 meter lead here. The other two athletes are motoring to just Van der Schoot and the Canadian athlete. But Bukovecchia is going to take this unless they're going to try and overtake her, but she should comfortably win this. 51:42 is the flash time. Let's see the official time. So it's 51:41. And Shira from Canada, 51:61, ahead of Van der Schoot, 52:15. So it's the top. Let me see, what's the two fastest times? That's heat number one had 50:90. Heat two is 50:61. So right now, Shira is still fastest time not to qualify it. So she has to wait for the other two heats, but we'll see. I'm watching. Hey, Patrick, I'm watching on Peacock if you're in the United States. Yeah. Carl says it's slow compared to the first. It is slower, but the most important thing is you just have to win. First person wins, automatically qualify. If you're the other athletes, you got to navigate that somehow. You want to push this up faster too, because you know, I mean, if you're in second and third place, you like your chances so far, but you just got to win. And heat number 3 comes up in a second. I think I missed something here from clip. Natalia is so consistent. It's always great to watch her. And yeah, she has a nice cadence. I like it. Been around for a while. I don't know if she'll make major podiums anymore outdoors. I think that's gone. The podium winners are definitely gonna be the ones that we know, unless she can sneak in a podium next year, assuming Sydney doesn't come back next year. I don't know I doubt she'll be in any shape next year. But Mila Weibo is back, so if she gets back to anywhere serious form, you're not getting on the podium. And obviously NASA shouldn't let you on a podium. Yeah, so it's, women's 400 meters is just too stuck right now, and there may be a couple of athletes coming through in the next few years. I mean, I want to see what you get from the likes of Adalike. Can she get into any real form? I just don't know. Right now the bar is too high in women's. It's not too high, but it's certainly really, really high. Last time you saw 2 women running 47, Paulino and Sydney. So you're not getting on the podium. It might be a challenge to get into a final I wouldn't be shocked if you get to Paris and not Paris to LA in a couple of years, and you need to run 48 to get into a final. That could happen. Definitely could happen. Carl says apparently Turkey also. Yeah, Turkey has poached a few. Some of them easier to move. The likes of Favour Fili, which is a whole farce there with her relationship with the Nigerian Track and Field Association. Yeah, it's been happening. It's happened for years, right? A lot of these Gulf states have done it for a long time as well, in terms of attracting athletes with financial incentives. And then people change allegiance for different reasons to citizenship and so on. But it's one of those things. Carl says, I don't understand the whole idea of stealing athletes from other countries. Well, countries want to perform well at major games, right? There's what they like to call ornamental prestige. It's an academic term we use sometimes when I think about this. Think about, that's why billionaires buy clubs or they do these different things. They want a kind of gravitas from sport that sometimes if you're not a bit able to provide it for yourself, you often find other ways. And if you have money, you can do that. But there needs to be conversations. I know there's been some emergency meetings at World Athletics about mass exodus of athletes. What comes out of that, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I just saw Martinez's jump here of 702. His foot was way behind the board. So Hernandez still in the lead, 1747 ahead of Scott Trekkie. Let me check this because I don't even know if the TV's right on this. I'll get back to your comments in a second. Yeah, so still 1774 for Andy Diaz Hernandez. Jordan Scott from Jamaica, 1729. And Trekkie from Algeria, 1717. Carl says, isn't the point of the Olympics is to celebrate national pride, and you saw display your home talent? And it is. I mean, obviously it's a country to country competition, but the history of athletes moving is always there. I think where people get a bit upset about is if there are movements to really go and get athletes from states that perhaps can't necessarily provide the same level of financial incentives. And especially in the sport of track and field, you see athletes are often concerned about how much money they'll make. It's not a high paying sport, especially if you are not one of the very best and if you're not competing in a handful of certain events. Yeah, you don't like it. I don't want to see it, but there's a lot of sides to this. Yeah, Scott is the triple jump. Yeah, he's in second right now, and well, I guess the question, Carl, is why people transfer allegiance, right? If they do it because they want to be committed or so. I mean, there's a lot of athletes who compete for country based off familial lines too as well. So I guess it depends, though. It depends. But I know what you're saying, though. Yeah. Lika Klava here moving. I totally missed the start of this race. She's on a final lap here. She has about a 2 or 3 meter lead on ahead of Hervas, but Klava is going to step away, win this comfortably in the end, 51-23, so she gets the automatic spot. I'll get the official results in a second. Hervas from Spain coming in second, and I think that's Brassier, if I have that pronounced correctly, which sometimes I don't. Let's see where the results are here. So Lika Klava won that heat 51-23. And so Hervas has what, 51-58. Let's see what's in this one here. 51-6. So she's in second there. So Hervas still in a position to get into the final. Yeah. Let's get back to your comments. And thanks for putting the comments in. Carl says there's no way a Jamaican is gonna have pride singing the Turkish national anthem. Hey, you never know. I mean, they'll probably get Turkish allegiance. They'll, you never know. I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I have no idea. They may be singing the anthem much more intently than others. Who knows? No, you're right. I mean, if there was an association before, I'm now seeing the Scott jump here. It's not bad. He could extend a little bit more, a holy extension a little bit more. Diaz Hernandez. He didn't even get a good landing there. On the board, rather. This guy is he just gets up and jump when he wants. It's too good. All right. I'll see you later, Carl. Yeah. All right. Let's see where we are. So there's one more heat left for these women's 400-meter semifinal. And that features Henrietta Jega, the Norwegian athlete who has a lot of talent, could potentially win it all. Let's see what we get from her. And then following that, men's 60-meter semifinal should be exciting. And we're back tonight too, guys. We're going to do a breakdown tonight later on with Leighton Levy. We'll be doing a joint live, kind of going over everything. I haven't been following all of the results of this heptathlon. Baldwin just missed on his third attempt at 2:11. But I have to check the results on that. The last time I checked, E. Hammer was doing some really good stuff. I don't know where he is right now. So this is Trekkie on his second jump here. Oof. That could be bigger than his first. That is a better jump. Let's see. I don't know if it's enough to get him ahead of Scott, but they've already switched it to something else. So Trekkie went 17:23 for his second attempt. Scott went 17:30, so he's a centimeter further than his first round jump. Still in medal position. Still 17 cm away from Andy Diaz Hernandez. I'm not thinking anyone's catching Hernandez. Hernandez is already out with a world lead. He's too good. I don't think the rest can compete with him, but it's still early days. Kishane so Carl is asking, did Kishane look good? He looked rugged. He looked like Kishane. It wasn't the smoothest of runs, but usually he doesn't give you that kind of smooth run. I think there's a lot more in the tank. He has to run much better than he did today, I think. If he gets out well, he'll be competitive. But if we're it's hard to sometimes make these assessments, but from a looks wise, I would say from the Jamaican guys, Brian Level looked the best of the lot. Then perhaps Akeem Blake or even Kishane. Overall, looking good, I would say Trevon Bromell looked the best. He had enough time to kind of ease off in the last few strides in a 60. Anthony looked okay too. Who else? Yeah. Azu was okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Jaeger should win this. So final race on of the semifinals. First person go through automatically, and then the next 4 fastest times into the final. But Henrietta Jaeger has been having a good season. Should beat everybody. One of the favorites for the gold medal here at these championships. So Henrietta Jaeger already eating up the first 100 meters here. Looking good. She's going to cut over before the rest. It's pretty good running here from her. That's like 23.92. So she's on course for sub 51 for sure here. Opening up it's like a 5-10 meter lead now. This is easy running for her. Took a check. Venlo right there, but can't come back into this. And Henrietta Jaeger is just going to cruise her way into a final. Probably had enough more time to ease off, but she wins it in 50.95. Really easy, good running for Henrietta Jaeger. Venlo, 52.04. That may get her into the final. Let's see. Is the summary ready? Yeah, she gets into the final. Yeah, Venlo gets in ahead of Bailey from the United States. So these are your finalists for the women's 400 meter. Jaeger wins fastest time going through 50.95. Manuel 50.96. Lika Clava 51.23. Bukovecchia 51.41. Hervé 51.58. Shira 51.61. I think this is Okecht 51.90 and Venlo 52.04. So those are the finalists for the women's 400 meter final. And Jaeger did well there. Probably will get the better of the lane. It's going to be interesting tomorrow. But I have her on the podium for sure. Easy Thunder. What was okay, so we're now another 8 minutes away or so from the men's semifinal of the 60 meters. I'm going to take another check on the triple jump that's in progress. I want to see where we are there. Men's triple jump. Diaz Hernandez still in the league. The second attempt was 16.91, but he's in the lead in 17.47. Ahead of Scott, 17.30, and Trekkie, 17.23. Martinez from Cuba, 17.02. But we'll see what we get here. Carl says she thinks Manuel may take it from Jaeger in the final. Possibly. I think Manuel has been running well too. We'll see what we get there. Yeah. Who knows if Bukovecchia on home soil might decide to run the race of her life too. It should be a good run. Definitely should be a good run. Yeah. So just a quick update on the triple jump here. Hernandez, 1747, as I mentioned, still from his first run attempt. Jordan Scott improved by a cm, still in second place, 1730, and Trekkie or Tricky, 1723. The other guys have to start doing some big jumps in order to get into the medal spot. I mean, I can't call this yet, but I suspect that 1730 should get you on the podium given what we've from some of these guys. But, I wouldn't put it past the likes of Martinez to get a big jump too. So perhaps Scott might need to jump further. Now they're showing Scott again here. I think this may have been his second run attempt. Yeah, this is his second run attempt. Ooh. He went down the. Oh, he has a lot on the board. He gave up there on the board. A good, I would say. He could probably get to 7.4s if he landed on that board properly. Yes, Hernandez's second jump wasn't good. I think he took off before the board too, just from this first angle. If they show it, I'll confirm. Yeah. Yeah. What's up, everyone? Thanks for coming through. Yeah, so semifinals for the 60 meters on track in a second. I'll just get a starting lineup for heat number 1. I'll just put that on screen while I watch some of these. Look how far his foot was behind the board there. Diaz. Hernandez. That was he got the run up totally wrong. It's not a good jump there from DeSantis. That's probably a 16 meter and change jump, very low jump. There's anywhere close to threatening leaderboard right now. I think his run up is really off. 1634 for DeSantis from Brazil in his second attempt. All right. So who we got? Will Brian Level cruise through to this? Unless something goes wrong. Belushi can, he could start really fast, but I don't think he's going to be competitive. This should be an easy run for Brian Level. So following the 60-meter semifinals, they'll have men's 400-meter semis. The same thing applies like in the women. The winner automatically qualifies, then the next 4 fastest times, and then the final of the men's 60 meters. But first, we got to get some semifinals on the track first. Let's see what Carol is saying. Carol is saying she was hoping to see Civil at these championships. I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. That would have put an extra special light on the World Indoor Championships to have the world champion of 100 meters there, but he didn't. It's not something that they were interested in. Still got a lot of caliber, a lot of quality athletes there. Obviously, the Olympic silver medalist and the World Championship silver medalist over 100 meters. Kishane Thompson is there. So it's a lot of gravitas there. The defending champion, Azu, is there. Jordan Scott, Brian Lavelle, medalists in the 200 meters from last year's World Championship. Trevon Bamel. So there's good quality there. Sonia's back in the house. How are you? So they're just going through the triple jump at the moment right now. That's the only thing on screen. I wish I had a personalized one for that. I'm just going to check it. They're still in the... They're still in the second round. I think they're about to go on round number 3. So still Diaz Hernandez from Italy in the lead with 17:47. Jordan Scott from Jamaica, 17:30. And Triki from Algeria, 17:23. Those are your medalists so far. Actually, they're not into the third round yet. I think Martinez is up right now. So I apologize. Carl says, Kishen reminds me of Asafa. I have no confidence in him, sadly. It's a very interesting point, but I don't know if it's a fair comparison. Because for one, Thompson has gone to 2 major championships and he's collected 2 silver medals. Grant you, he was favored for potentially the favorite going into both of those, and he didn't quite deliver. So there is something there, but he has gotten big silverware, right? He's gotten a silver medal at the Olympics in Paris, and he followed that up with a silver medal last year in Tokyo. I suspect he would have been under more pressure had it not been Oblique Seville winning. So that kind of 1-2 combination from a Jamaican standpoint saves the argument somewhat. I think he doesn't get the same level of heat. But were he to come second to somebody else last year, I suspect he would face a lot more criticism. But I don't know if it's the same comparison, Carl, because this is a guy who's only gone to 2 major championships. I think the first championship, I don't really think we can even complain about it. You may be ahead of me, Thunder. Yeah. So the first two goes through to this it's a good start there. Brian Level got a little bit left behind, but he starts the motor there and he steps into his pace and he wins this. But Verstraeten there was in the mix too, and Burnett. I think Level didn't get the start he wanted, but had to work a little bit. 6:53, but qualifies comfortably. Yeah. So Brian Level from Jamaica takes the first semi. Looks a little bit sleepy, a little bit languid, but let's see it again. And 6:56 and 6:56 for Verstraeten and Burnett. Exactly the same time. 0.553, 0.553. Imagine they have to coin flip for that. No, he won't. Anyway, one of them is into the final, but yeah. Verstraeten here around the same time. You can't separate them. I don't know. Brian Level looks a little bit. What is he doing? Oh, they're putting him in. Okay, just motoring him off the field. I thought he looked like he wasn't walking well, but he's fine. Yeah. Want to see this again? So yeah, he didn't get a good start there in comparison, but he got into it. It wasn't that terrible start. I want to be clear about that. I think he was. They didn't really leave him, but he gets into his running, and yeah, this looks kind of comfortable for Brian in the end. Yeah. Yeah. Sonia says not fair to to say Kishan is like. I think I agree on that. Yeah, Burnett and Belgian both get queues down to the thousands. Yeah, it is. Uh, there is a possibility this could end differently, but it should be fine. Imagine if you had to coin flip on this. Uh, Ricardo says, I don't remember Asafa getting silver in the first two Maybe championship. Maybe history is defeating my. Exactly, he didn't, but yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's a fair comparison. I agree on that. I do understand where Carol is coming from. I think she's saying that when you get to a major championship, if he's favored, perhaps he hasn't delivered. But it's also his first two, right? So I don't know. I think he. I think. Yeah, you go to your first championship and you win a silver medal. I don't think we can come. We can critique, obviously, but it was the first time on the global stage for him in Paris. I don't know if I give him a lot of grace, right? You know, it's the same way I was thinking about Oblique Seville when he went to the when he went to the Olympics in Tokyo semifinal. You can't really say anything. I think the year after in Eugene, I still was like, whatever happens, happens. I think by the time we got to Budapest, and the expectations for me started at Budapest, or in Budapest rather, and obviously Paris, and that didn't happen. And if you didn't land here, you start to kind of worry. And obviously, it didn't happen for different reasons, injuries, all of that. I think I'm fairly look. You don't get those medals so easily, and Thompson has two. Would he be disappointed not to have won a gold medal in Paris? I'm sure he would. He would have, and perhaps last year too, having run good times leading into the championship. So, yeah, he has time to. He's young, has a lot of time to fix that. Carl says his running style doesn't inspire confidence. Howie says Kishan gets too many muscle and what? He has. I guess you're saying it's too muscular. I mean, he maybe need to lean down, but I don't know. Speaking of Asafa, they're showing an Asafa here in. They're showing Trevon Bamel's run in the World Indoors many years ago with Asafa Powell in the mix too, and that was a World Championship in 2016 where a lot of people thought Asafa could potentially win, but he didn't. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna get to the second semifinal should be in the mix. Oh, it's as if Peacock is way behind. What's going on here? So we're talking about Trevor Burmel, Thompson. So we're a lead in time. I'm like, I think I'm a little bit behind here. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . So top two get through. I think these Peacock guys are really behind. I mean, the way Brummel got out here was ridiculously good. Kishay Thompson really worked to get back in, but Trayvon really got out in this race. That's a ridiculous reaction to the gun there. Well, I don't know what reaction to the gun is, but the way he came out, like the start, like first few steps, and get into acceleration. 642 is a world lead. Thompson 647 is pretty good, but he was gone. That is ridiculous. Trayvon might be back. Mindset is like Jordan Anthony will win the final. Wow to clip. Carl says world lead 642. 647 is good for Kishin, according to Carl. I want the US to fail, but I'm happy if Trey wins. I mean, the way he got out was good, you know. I have to see that again. I think I'm a little bit behind. For some reason, Peacock might be behind. They weren't normally be this behind from the results, because my results populated before I saw the race. Look how he got out there. Trayvon Brummel there looking really good. And he's like looking over with a little bit of a disdain there. He's like, catch me if you can. Oh my, he got it. He got out. Everything about that race was perfect. I almost wondering if this race is too perfect for Trayvon Brummel. If you assume this is a good semifinal run, could he run sub 6-4? That was executed beautifully well. I'll just get back to some comments here. Carl says, I think Brummel has shot his shot. Well, he would be upset if he did. Clip says, remember I told you if we're 2 rounds, Trayvon would win. I remember you saying this, Clip. We have to put this on record, because if it doesn't happen, you know, I want to make sure you get all the praise, because you've been predicting a lot of things. Mr. Roosman said, if he can produce that run in the final, that's the big question. The final is coming up in soon, right? You know, so it's not a lot of time right now. What time is it now? It's 4:22. The final comes up. So the final is less than an hour. Can he come back and drop that again? A lot of people are questioning that, including Mindset. He's saying, I don't think Brummel can replicate that. I mean, he came out in a way that was lovely, you know. That was a tremendous run there. That was a big time run. Yeah, that was ridiculous run. I'm just responding to a couple of things here, guys. Dynamics is going on. Yeah, good afternoon. Dynamics saying, Trayvon Brummel, good Lord, I'm speechless. Carl says, come on, Blake. No, that was outstanding running there from Trayvon Brummel. I can't believe that one. I mean, I know he's good, but he looked really good this morning, as I mentioned. I think all of you would have seen that. Uh, and he had a lot of time this morning in terms of in the context of a 60 meters. He was just like stepping in the last few runs. But the idea that he just made that look like nothing, and he looks across to the Olympic silver medalist and world championship silver medalist over 100 meters as if he's like where you are, where he's like, where you at, like, basically, right? That was a big time run from Trayvon Brummel. It's probably it's the easiest 60 meter of the year, right? There's the best run. Well, it's a world leading time, but in terms of the way he navigated that, it's the easiest thing we've seen this season. Carl says, no, a wheelchair lies is getting married. Yeah, he is getting married. Yeah, yeah. Oh, this world championship is going crazy, guys. Anthony just equal is because I'm getting the results before I'm seeing the race now for whatever reason. Jordan Anthony just ran 6:43 ahead of Azu 6:45, and equaling his PB, Azu PB, equaling Anthony's PB for Azu. That's crazy running. Akeem Blake in fourth, 6:55. He's out of it. Gotta see this. I mean, it's an interesting point you're making there, Thunder, but he had a whole good season, right? But I don't know. Dynamics saying the track is really fast. The 60-meter women's world record maybe tomorrow. Perhaps, yeah. I don't know. Perhaps. I mean, he had a good start to the season. New Balance, Boston, decent on the World Indoor Tour, but probably definitely not what he wanted. Anthony got out really well there for sure, and Azu was really motoring. I think the problem with Blake there is that his first couple of steps look really off. You got a couple of Americans here basically asking to be on the podium. And you think about Azu, like Azu is a guy, he's a defending champion. You can't really count him out. But PB today, 6:45. But Jordan Anthony looked really smooth. Yeah, something happened to Akeem. His first few steps look bad clipped. I have to look at it again to see if he sat in the blocks, but he Spider-Man says Anthony's next. He is. I mean, he's actually transitioning well so far as a professional athlete. Yeah, the steps are off there. Yeah. And he just had nothing to get back into the race there. Akeem Blake, that is. Let me get back to this. Carl says final less than an hour. It is. Dynamic says, yeah, Blake's steps were off in the opening round this morning. Looked like he stumbled and then he popped up too soon. Yeah. So the final. Ooh. This is going to be an interesting. So two Jamaicans, two Americans. The defending champion is there. It's going to be a quick. It's going to be a quick turnaround, but it should be an exciting final. Carl says thought Blake was going to pull through. Oh well. Yeah, I don't know. It is. He didn't look good there. I want to see it again and just focus on him. I keep looking at the other athlete, but yeah, that was not a good run for Akeem Blake. He's gone. I'll put. I don't even know if I put the results up. National record there for SME, 652. That got him into the final. I think that's the summary there. Yeah. Akeem Blake, he wouldn't have qualified on time anyway. So yeah, 655. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. 400 meters up next in a second. I'll check the triple jump. I'll just look at your comments here. Mindset is saying so Jamaica won't make the podium. I don't know. I mean, it's still early, right? It's not early, but there's a final to be run. It's going to require some big performances here, but in a final, anything can happen. But you have to admit that Trevon Bromell starts favorite. Anthony on the podium too, I would imagine. It's going to be interesting. Azu running a PB. He knows how to find his way in these indoor circumstances. It's going to require Brian Level to really step up and be with them. He can't get away from him. The same for even Kishane Thompson. He has to be in the mix. There's no if Bromell starts the way he did right there, it could be 6:38. Who knows? Clip says top 3 fastest time in the semi was my podium pick. Yeah, speaking of that, you got to put in your predictions if you're playing the World Athletics prediction game. Mindset says the medals will go to Azu, Bromell, and Anthony Kishane 4th, then Level. Are you doing it in that order? I want to check the triple jump right now. Scott has improved again, but not enough to get him to go ahead of Andy Diaz Hernandez. So Scott is moving in the right direction, 729, 730, 733. Trekkie also improved on his third attempt to 721. So those two are in the middle positions along with Diaz Hernandez at 747, which is a world leading effort so far. So the top 3 has not changed since the opening round of the men's triple jump final. So let me get back to the comments here. Thanks everyone for coming through and for liking the video. Mindset says the order is Anthony, Bromell, Azu, Kishane, Level. That's Mindset's order. Do we all agree with that? I don't know. I before I had Anthony winning from the start, but that run from Bromell is interesting. I need to play my I need to think through this. I gotta play the game. Is that Chase? I don't know what she's saying here. I gotta put on some. You guys calling me out like that, Sherwood? You know, I had to make a run and come back. With the Spider-Man says, respectfully, there are only two people who can run 6'4". It's not Azu. You mean run like 6'4" or better? Yeah, I don't know if Azu can run that fast. I mean, big PB right there, 6'4" I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to give you the prediction in a second there, Dynamic. I got to think through this. I do take into consideration the idea that Brummel running 3 races in one day could catch up on him. Well, he looks so smooth, though. It's either Brummel or Anthony for me. That's a Scott again there. They're showing his I think this is third round attempt at 17:33. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do the prediction soon. I feel like there's gonna be a surprise on that podium. I know it sounds weird, but I feel like Brian Levin is gonna find his way on this podium. I'm waiting for the prediction thing to open up. They haven't opened it up yet. So this is Rafinha on the runway. He hasn't. Yeah, that's a bad jump from him. Let's see. Paycheck says level should. Mindset is saying Brummel can't replicate. The winning time will be slower than the world lead. 6:44 will win. Anthony will get it. Good point. Mark Beck 1542. My picks: Anthony, Kishane, Lavelle, Brummel can't run 3 rounds. It is, I mean, Trayvon is a special athlete, obviously. You know, has been one plagued with a lot of injuries, but I do take that. Yeah. Just taking a little check there on the triple jump. They're just showing rounds that I've seen before. Raquel says Brummel is her sentimental favorite. And is that, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Is that Poyo? Brummel for the win. He's a veteran. He is. I mean, that would be like, when did he last win? 2016? That would be a 10-year gap. How we said there might be a few guys here for the enhanced games. I mean, I don't know what to make of that. Like, I don't want to talk about enhanced games either. So we're getting into the I think they're still in the third round here or finishing the third round of the men's triple jump. Who's up next? I think they're going into the fourth round. I think Diaz Hernandez passed in the third attempt, if I'm not mistaken. So it's 17:47, 17:33, and 17:23. Diaz Hernandez, Scott, and Tricky. And Carol is like men's 400. Yeah, that's coming up. The men's 400 meter semifinal on track. I don't know what's happening with the Peacock stream, but I think they're a little bit behind, which is kind of a crazy thing. I don't understand why. Lamar is saying, what's going on with Kishane's start? I don't know. I mean, if we're comparing to what we saw from Bromell, that's probably a tough comparison there, but he got out really well. There's a lot. Thanks for the comments coming through. I'll try to catch them in a second there. I'm gonna do that again. Clipped. I don't know what was happening with it. I don't know why I'm behind. That's an interesting thing, and I'm pulling 1 gig up and down. Yeah, the first semifinal was won by what? Chris Robinson, 45-46, but I haven't seen it yet, so I think I'm way behind. The mindset is asking is, yeah, Jordan Scott is still in the second position for the triple jump. So yeah, they're into the fourth round right now, and yeah, they're, I think, position number 9 right now is up for the jump. So Andy Diaz 17-47. He passed on his third round attempt. I'm not sure why he passed. If he's confident that no one can catch him, or if something went wrong. Scott 17-33 and Tricky 17-21. So Robinson looked decent coming out here. Brazilian guy had a good run here. Cut over before Robinson as well. I don't know if I like how Chris Robinson ran this first leg. He had to hunt him, go all the way in lane 3 to win this. In the end, it's a good run, but perhaps he could have run the first 100 much harder. He should have cut over before this Brazilian guy, or at least took over the run earlier. Carl says, okay, so you're upset with Hibbert. Hey, it's one of those things, right? You hope it would never happen, and I think the biggest issue is because you end up losing a lot of the top talent. Like early, but I don't know. It's the same with the shot put. It's the same with a few of the long jump guys too. So let's see what we get here. The second semifinal features Jareem Richards from Trinidad and Tobago. I don't think he liked how he ran this morning. At least I think I saw that in the press conference too, or the post race. So let's see, who's this? Ken Roy says Anthony Bromell Thompson, and Richards for the semi from Carl. Has World Athletics put up the prediction for the 60-meter final yet? Are you guys playing that? It's still not available. Dynamic says, one thing for sure, I don't see Kishane winning. That would be hard. I think at this stage it looks hard for that to happen. And Mindset says it would be great if we could hang on to the silver medal. I think at this stage, unless there's a big jump from Tricky, I don't anticipate Scott outside of the silver medal position, to be honest with you. This is going to be a good race. You got Morales Williams, who is really running well this season as well. Sonic says any athlete who runs faster in the semi than the final is not a good runner. I get what you're saying. Sometimes that happens though, you know, but you want to do your very best, especially if you're a top athlete, right? Sometimes you have like athletes who have to run all out just to get into a final. So I think it's not a level way of looking at it. But if you are but for some athletes it requires them to run their very best just to get into a final. But if you're one of the favorites, you want to run quicker. I mean, assuming the conditions are good. In this case, it's a six. There's no shift in the conditions anyway. So yeah. And Jules is actually saying what I was saying too. Yeah. Not quite sure what happened to Richards here. I'm just now seeing the race. I'm a little bit behind as I mentioned. Miles Williams ran a good cut over there. Jareem was out in front here. He has like a meter lead on Morales here. Looked good earlier this year in 300. So I guess he got run down. And Morales just got into overdrive right here. Cuts over into lane 2 and wins this comfortably. And Taniga there from Kenya, 45.75, ahead of Richards, 45.87. Who Jareem? No, Jareem trains with Lyles. He doesn't. They're not at the same time, but they're in the same training group. Yeah. Yeah, Sonic. I think there's differences, right? If you're a top athlete, if you're a favorite to win a race, usually you're gonna perform your very best, and you're showing like the likes of say Blake Bolt or Sharik or the top athletes. They are seasoned and usually much better than the rest when they're in their prime, so they get into a semifinal cruising. They're athletes who have to run their PB to get into a final, and sometimes that's a difficulty in replicating. If you're a very top athlete and you're at least a favorite athlete and you're running faster in the semifinal and in the final, then I understand. But it's not, it does, the application of that assessment varies depending on the quality of the athlete. All things being equal, like the conditions are good. Like, you know, if you run into a serious headwind, then we have to take that into consideration or so. So one semifinal left. I think I didn't put the result up here. Let me put a Heat 3 result up. Sorry about that. Well, 2 semifinals left rather. But Morales Williams, they're running 45.35. Not quite sure if Jareem actually saw Taniga on his right or he just didn't have anything in the legs. He doesn't look as comfortable as I thought he would be coming into this championship. I'm going to take a check in the triple jump. So Diaz Hernandez jumped again. He went 17.08 in his fourth attempt. Still way off from his first round, 17.47. Jordan Scott fouled on his fourth attempt. And now Tricky made a big jump to 17.30. Now he's still in third position, but just 3 centimeter separation between Scott and Tricky. Marbeck says, I don't think that comment about running fast in a semi doesn't apply in a 60. All the top guys are pretty close to each other in terms of times. No, yeah, all these guys are really close. I would imagine. I think the question about Bramel is like what people have been asking and commenting on is whether he can run 3 rounds in one day and produce his very, very best in the final. I think that's the only thing left to see, but I don't know. Kara says the Czech guys look good. yeah, the Czechia guys have been decent this year. I like Molnar as well. I think he's pretty good. There's like so much sporting events going on. Forgot Manchester United is about to play. Yeah, guys watching March Madness too. Molnar already making good ground in this semifinal here. He cuts over from Horak. Well, it's like side by side. I don't think this is going to be pretty quick, but he's upright, not extending his running, but he is opening up on Horak here. Comfortable run from Molnar. 45.81. So it's like 45.81, 46.03. What's this? 45.75. This is what? 45.71. So Richards is still in the mix here. Gotta get some football on too. So Jareem could probably make it. Yeah, I mean the final semifinal features Caleb McRae, who should take this. Raheem Hales from Jamaica. Kijanovic from Serbia. Let's take a look on the triple jump to see if there's any changes here. We're into the fifth round. It's still Diaz Hernandez. He's yet to go. Same with Scott and Trique. Martinez is up on top right now. So it's getting pretty close to handing out these medals. I don't think anyone's going to pass that 17.47 from Andy Diaz. I don't think he can even go back there. World leading performance so far. I mean, Jordan Scott had 17.33 in his third attempt, and he had a foul attempt in round 4. So we'll see what we get from these guys. I'll get to comments in a second. Spider-Man says Bromell ran that 300 against Lyles and Richards. He will hold up. It's a good point. Actually, it's a good point. He was way off in that, but he looked good. And it's a good point. Didn't really think through that. Yeah. So we got the last final, the last semifinal on track here. And then I'll definitely give my predictions for the 60-meter final. I'm going to play that right now. I'm thinking Hmm. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Anthony to win it ahead of Bromell. I'm gonna just go Brian Level for third. Way out there on this. I just played that too. Carl is saying, "Come on, Hills. Let's see what he can do." So Kijanovic, the Serb, McRae as well, Hales from Jamaica, and El Kabiti. I think Kabit. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. I gotta see the pronunciation. I didn't like how McRae ran the opening round this morning, but he's much better than the rest. So we'll see. We got a recall gun at the start here. Reaction time for Hales is less than 0.1, so he's gone. So it's 0.054. Unless there is a faulty start, I think Raheem Hales is gone. And I want to say, I never understand how athletes false start in the 400 meters, but .05. So it's faster than 100 milliseconds. If you react after the gun faster than 100 milliseconds, you will be charged with a false start. As you know, I have a problem with this. If you watch some of my videos. But they credited it as a faulty start, so he's good. Thanks, Carl. Yeah, I just saw the green card too. Yeah. So he got a warning. It's lucky. Anytime you see a reaction time under 100 milliseconds, you're lucky to see anything other than red, especially at the major championships. They can't seem to get this going. Caleb McRae had his hand up, and so the start is not happening. I'm going to check the triple jump in the meantime. So Jordan Scott went 17:31 on his fifth attempt. Tricky 17:26, and Hernandez is about to jump right now. So Scott wants one more round closer to a silver medal. So this gets to a clean start. Hales is trying to catch up onto the Portuguese athlete, but he can't really cut the stagger. And McRae is already gone way out there. He's going to cut over from the rest. Very comfortable. Not running really within himself there. Omar in second ahead of Hales from Jamaica. Oh, there's a little bit of jostle between Kijanovic and Raheem Hales, but Caleb McHale here just sailing away to an easy victory, 45-39. So 45-39 for McRae. So Richards makes it through to the final. Maybe he'll figure out a way to run a blinder. Jareem Richards, that is. Let's get the summary on that. They haven't updated that yet. But I think Richards made it through. So the 400 final includes Morales Williams, obviously Caleb McRae, who broke the world record this year, upon ratification. Chris Robinson, 2 Americans. Lima with an era record there from Brazil, for a South American era record. Taniga, Molnar, Richards, and Horak. So Horak and Richards and Lima get through on small cues. Should be a good final. Back to the triple jump just to see where we are. Diaz Hernandez fouled on his 5th attempt. So one more round left in the men's triple jump final. And 1747 for Andy Diaz from his first attempt. Still the biggest jump in the competition, biggest jump in the world. Jordan Scott 1733 and Trika 1726. The next thing on the track will be the start of the final event. I'll just put up the lane assignments here. So Kishane Thompson's in lane 7, Brian Levlin 3, Anthony 4, Azu 5, Brummel 6. It's very interesting here. I think I just put down Anthony, Brummel, and Level. That's what I put down. Could be, I think that's like a crazy prediction, but we'll see. It's the last predictions you guys have for the final. It's like they're interviewing E Hammer here. Let me check the. I'll get you in a second there, Carl. I just want to see the what's the summary on the heptathlon. E Hammer has wow, this is pretty good right here. So this is E Hammer leading at 3,698, Garland 3,660, and Baldwin 3,510. Is this world record pace for E Hammer? Huh. 900. It might be. I have to check. I have to do the check. Yeah. Let's see where we are. Carl says y'all need to stop counting out Azu. Carl is back in the house. Carl says I went even crazier with Level, Kishane, and Brummel. That's your line. That's how you went. Brian Level, Kishane Thompson, and Trayvon Brummel. That would be crazy. But I can't see it. I can't see it. 60-meter final coming up next on the track, guys. So we've reached the end of the triple jump, so I can confirm right now that Andy Diaz Hernandez will be your gold medalist, 1774. He's up right now on his sixth and final attempt, but it doesn't matter what he jumps, he's gonna win the gold medal. Jordan Scott from Jamaica secures a silver medal in a season best time of 17.33 ahead of Yasser Mohammed Triki from Algeria, 17:30. And I don't know what Diaz will jump. Well, he had a foul attempt now. So the men's triple jump is over. And those are the results. Carousel, you'll see it on the podium. Well, yeah, let's see. If that happens on the podium, I'm not going to be mad at it, to be honest with you. I just can't see it. But that doesn't mean it can't happen. I think I put on the World Athletics predict to have Anthony, Brummel, and Level. That's what I did. Even though I think Kishane Thompson could get on this podium too, I don't want to count out Azul because he's an interesting athlete. Every time I count out Azul, he wins. I think I count him out at the British Championship last year. I did count him out at the World Indoor Championships last year, and he won. And I read an interview with him and a couple of things leading up to this championship, and I believe he was saying raising a kid is harder than running. I imagine it is. So who knows? He may be running free in his head, and we'll see what we get. They're just showing some of the triple jump, but that's already done. So final event on the track, guys. It's gonna be the 60-meter final. Last look at the starting lineup here. Two Jamaicans, the defending champion, Azu from Great Britain. Two Americans. Who's going home with the medals. So good on Scott. And Scott on his 17:33. His foot was way behind the line. But congratulations to him. I think he made history for Jamaica, if I'm not mistaken. I can't recall Jamaica have a medal in here, right? No. So he should be happy with that. I mean, whenever you come second to Andy Diaz Hernandez, you can't really complain. He's a top class athlete. You have to like lanes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a very interesting setup there. Level, Anthony, Azu, Bromell, Thompson. Dynamics, game time. Hope Bromell wins. If Trayvon Bromell wins this, it would be 10 years since he won the title. So Asim comes out, Burnett. Yeah, all guys coming out and a little fanfare here. Lights are off. Brian Lavelle here, only 22. Here we go from Carol. It's exciting times. Jordan Anthony. Interesting story with Jordan Anthony, right? I saw it yesterday. He developed a blood clot in his arm after they missed his vein in the mandatory, well, I guess it's mandatory drug testing. Yeah. Bromell to put up a Daniel Williams here. That's the last comment. Well, well, well. You got to be kidding me. You have to be kidding me on this. Isn't that Verstraeten there? Hmm. I mean, Anthony got a really good start here. Trevor Bromell dying. Ooh. The separation here is wild, guys. 641 for Jordan Anthony, a world lead. And the separation between Verstraeten, Thompson, and Bromell is just down to the thousands of a second. Kishane sheared This is outrageous. Yeah. That's not a good look for Brian Level there. I don't know what happened. Hopefully, it's nothing serious. Make that double silver with Thompson. I mean, I imagine we count out Verstraeten from Belgium and he finds a way. 641, 645, 645, 645, 646. Oh, he didn't fit. Sorry, I mean, what happened here? No, there are some problems with this. Yeah, because he wasn't in this. Yeah, because I was like, where was he? This was 645 for Thompson, 645 for Bromell. Sorry about that, guys. Because I was like, I wasn't seeing this guy, but it was just like a blanket finish there for a bunch of these guys here. I mean, Anthony won clearly, but Thompson, Bromell, and Azul was hard to separate. 645 PB, yeah. Yeah, something happened to Brian Level too, and also Verstraeten. It's like impossible to see, yeah. This is what 641 on our screen here, 645 for Thompson, which is a PB, 645 for Bromell, separated by 0.4. It's what 447 to 448. And Azul 646. Jordan Anthony wins this 641 in a world leading time. Bromell ran a 642 in his semi, couldn't replicate that time. And all of you guys who said he can't run 3 runs, you're probably right. Something went wrong with the wiring here for sure, because at one point they had Verstappen in, and I was like, but he wasn't in the race, but I was like, maybe I didn't see him. So Anthony was clearly ahead. He dipped probably a little bit too early, and a tight dip with, and they had a tight dip here with Thompson and Brummel. So USA goes 1-3, same time credited to Kishane Thompson and Brummel, but separated by 1,000 of a second. Thunder says people are saying Kishane couldn't run 3 rounds. I'm not sure who was saying that, but I guess people. Dynamic says, so those who kept bringing up Azul, now what? I guess he's a little bit out of it there. 646, not too far off there as well. Thunder says it didn't look like. I mean, that's hard to say there, Thunder. I don't think athletes stop running unless they feel. He must have felt something. I mean, I don't know if he pulled anything, obviously, right? It could be a cramp. But you never know, and that's not a good. You never want that to. You never want anyone to get injured, but yeah. Carl said, I had Kishane place in second, go me. Paulette is asking, why did you think he did not pull anything? Dynamic says, who said Kishane couldn't run rounds? The 60-meter champion is Jordan Anthony in a world-leading time of 6.41 seconds. Just reading that out again for those who didn't get the result. Kishane Thompson from Jamaica, personal best 6.45. Trayvon Bummel, 6.45 as well. The separation is 0.447 to 0.448. And Jeremiah Azu, 6.46. So pretty close. B.I. Strong Silver again. Kishane tricked everyone here. Asira says Kishane Thompson is the new Merle Nati. You guys are harsh on the guy. I don't know what to tell you on this, but Clip says Kishane Silver Surfer allegations gonna go wild online. I don't know. I mean, Kishane Thompson, what's 3 major finals in a row, 3 silver medals. Hey, I suspect he'll take some of that. Spider-Man says, good job to the Kings. Judge not that he not be judged. Paulette is giving a scripture here. I'm trying to keep up with some of your comments here. So 2 medals for Jamaica tonight, 2 silver medals, one from Kishane Thompson and one from Jordan Scott in the men's triple jump. Thanks for saying that, Spider-Man. Trying to keep up with your comments there. No, it's interesting. I have to watch this over again. There was obviously a little bit of a snafu with the way in which the results came across the screen. They had Verstraeten from Belgium finishing in the second position, but that clearly was wrong, unless he was wearing the wrong bib or whatever. But I don't know how they got that. They're clearly a problem. Brian Level pulling up there as well, or easing. So I'm not quite sure what happened to him. Perhaps, hopefully, if it's an injury, it's nothing particularly serious. We'll have to wait to get confirmation on what happened to him. In fairness, 4 guys running 6'4" and better, 6'46" from Azul, trying to defend his championship and couldn't do it. And Kishane Thompson and Trevor Burrell separated by the tiniest of margins. That is a big PB for Thompson. Bromell, interesting. A lot of people were saying there's no way he can run 3 rounds. Well, he got on the podium, didn't deliver the kind of race he probably would have wanted from a semifinal. But good on him to get back on the podium after so many years. Let's see. Valerie says USA Rob Merlin. Okay, yeah, that's gonna take a lot. I don't know if it's only them, Valerie. We could go to some things from the early 80s from East Germany and all these places, but I don't want to get into that right now. Mr. Roosman says Kishane is consistent, which is what you guys aren't seeing. 3 finals, 3 podiums. How many persons can say that? No, that's a good point. I mean, he's gotten on 3 consecutive podiums, 3 major championships. I think there's the expectation. I actually don't think the expectation for Thompson was to win today. I mean, not from what we've seen, right? We've seen him run fairly well outdoors on these 60s. I think he did 1 indoor 60 early in the season, but he wasn't indoors a lot. Not a lot of people would think that he would have come here to win. He ran a really decent time. People, not a personal best, a decent time in the context of even a really good time, rather, in the context of what we expect indoors. Look, he cashes in when he gets to these championships. We can argue to the hills about what happened in Paris and what happened in Tokyo last year, but maybe he'll get it right. You hope he gets it right sometimes, and if he doesn't and he consistently gets medals, then he ends a career with being an important athlete. I mean, he's one of the more influential athletes over the last 3 years now, right? So let's see what we get next year and the year after, right? Jordan Anthony, first time as a pro, you got to give him a lot of credit there. Got on to he won a national title for the United States, their championship, and you saw a level of confidence from that. You know, I think part of that started with the hyping up from Noah Lyles and this whole transferring belts of whatever they have at the athletic club there. But Anthony wins. Let's see what he can do outdoors. He's in good company in terms of where he is. And Bromell, he's been struggling with injuries at different moments throughout his career. So to get back on a major stage podium, I suspect he'll be happy with that. Azul runs, 6:46. Doesn't defend his title, but should he be embarrassed by that time? I don't think so. I'll get back to your comments right now. Clip says all Akeem had to do was make the final. Raquel says Thompson ran a PB. I'm so happy. Yeah, he's done his best here, right? And unfortunately, his best was only good enough to get a silver medal. I think that's what he probably. But you have to hold your hand up and say, look, Anthony, coming into this championships was one of the favorites, and he delivered on that. Well, BI Strong says that it's not Alec. Okay, I guess you're talking about the separation on the photo finish. We're gonna get into some trouble here. Remember, these guys from Jamaica I guess they don't run indoor well. I don't know if we can say that. There's no indoors for them to run, right? But a lot of them have especially if you run the circuit, right? There's a lot of Jamaican guys who run the circuit now, right? If you want an opportunity to run, there is an entire world indoor tour on this. So, but yeah, it's not like there's a indoor facility down there. I'm not sure it matters that much. If you think of, at least on the stretch, it doesn't really matter. The surface is good. Yeah, I think where you get the challenge is when you have to run like on the curve, the banking. That can create different dynamics there. I may miss some of your things, your your comments, but if I do, I apologize. But I'll try to get to as much as possible. And tonight we're coming back tonight for a big recap with Mr. Analyst Leighton Levy. Both of us are doing a joint live, so I hope to see you guys there again. We can chop it up, get an opportunity to think through some of these things. Raquel says Kishane over exceeded her expectations. B.I. Strong says you can't complain. The drought is over. You're right here. He's mentioning the drought since Usain retired. Yeah, the men have found their way back. Obviously, two of them on the podium last year, back to back. The year before, you got a silver medal in the Olympics. So there's a good quality crop of Jamaican men, including the likes of an Akeem Blake, which we have to say, new sponsorship this year as well. Hey, the key thing is, you think about Brian Level too. I think he's going to be golden over 1 and 2 in the next few years. Hopefully, whatever happened today is not serious. We'll get a sense of that. But there's a good crop of guys coming through that you hope will threaten the world. And I think based on what we've seen with even Oblique, the idea is that he may dominate for years to come. But we have to wait to see that. There's difficulty. There's not difficulty, but there's competition everywhere. People, once you get to the top, people try to get you down. Where else? Carol says Kishane gave me a lovely surprise. There's an up-down smiley face here from Mickey Dunn. Not sure. I don't know what these things mean. I'm not really that savvy with all of the. Well, there's you have to explain a little bit more there. Paulette says, God bless you, Kishane. The goal is next. Asira says, the young girl from Czechia may win the final tomorrow. Possibly. We have to think through that. It could also go to Henrietta Jager. But I think Manuel is really a top-class athlete. She looked good today, just to go back on the 400 meters. So I think she's in the mix for sure. I agree on that. But we'll see. Dynamics 416 says, I'm proud of Kishane. He's consistent. He used the outdoor season to work on the weak part of his race and prep for 2027, 2028. Very good point, Dynamics. We're at a stage, and let me switch to the screen here. We're certainly at a stage where you have to believe that a lot will define the next couple of years. One, and his age, there's opportunity to be on 2 major podiums. Have World Championships in China next year, get on the podium again. Try to win it, right? Everyone is going to try and win it, right? This is important stuff. And then, importantly, you think about the LA Olympics, right? That would be second Olympics, assuming everything goes well. After that, it starts to get problematic for an athlete, right? Because you start to get older, and if you don't win, you start to question yourself sometimes. But you're right, he has an opportunity there. Let's see where we are. Dynamics also asks the haters, whose resume would you want? Would you rather? Sorry, Kishane Thompson or Asafa Powell? Well, I guess since I'm not the hater, I don't know the answer to that. Jules876 says, so proud of my countrymen. Jordan, Kishane, and Level, Akeem Blake. Well done, guys. Yeah, it was a good performance today. 2 silver medals for Jamaica. Really good performance for Jordan Scott as well. We should not underplay that. We should spend some time thinking through that. History making in the context of getting on a medal podium in a triple jump for Jamaica indoors. So big performance for him there. I think when you think about Jordan's season last year, it was one of the medal favorites going into the World Championships. He had a solid season, didn't quite make it on the podium. Triple jump is a tough space. What you want to see from Jordan is to get into bigger jumps, because when the likes of a Hernandez or and the lot decides to jump big, he has to start pushing to closer to the 17.6s, and I don't know what his ceiling is. He's in a great training group. You think about likes of Tia Lafon, all of those people, but I don't know if he's can he be a 1790 guy? That's probably way out of his reach. I don't know. But if you can if he can start eking on the centimeters there, and you saw there's an opportunity for him to jump big today. I think he probably go home thinking he could have probably jumped 17.4 today, especially with a couple of those jumps. So it's good performance from him. So I agree. Dynamics is also Merlin won World Indoors and World Outdoors, comparing Christian Torres unfair. I don't think we should be doing these things either, right? Like I think there's different eras to, and you just got to take things out as it goes, right? Yeah. Jules says Thompson had to run the field and run down the field and he did well. Yeah, you missed the final. Sorry, Barbara. World leading performance from Jordan Anthony, Kishane Thompson, and Trevor and Bromell. Personal best for Thompson as well. Yeah, 21. The Young Kings are coming according to Spider-Man. Yeah. Sonic is back again. He wants to get his point in, I'm not sure if you're a man or a woman, but what did I tell you about good runner? I know Bromell wasn't going to run faster in the final, even though he medal. Yeah, you got it today. Yeah, but I still think there's nuance to that. Paulette is asking what time's the race? What time tomorrow? So tomorrow is lots of stuff on tap tomorrow. You got to get up early if you want to see the opening round, I believe, of the 60-meter hurdles for heptathletes. But round one of the women's 60 meters starts at 6:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So how early do you want to get up? I'll probably be up. I don't know if I'm doing a live at that early. But yeah, a lot of things on in the morning session tomorrow. You'll get the opening rounds of 60 meters. The heptathlon will also have pole vault along with the 60-meter hurdles. Round one of the 60-meter hurdles for men starts at 5:20 a.m. So it's a really early start. Then we're going to get the final of the 4x4 mixed relay at 7 a.m. So yeah, some things there. High jump final as well. Semifinals for women's 800 meters and men's 800 meters. And the night ends tomorrow, similarly like tonight, with the 60-meter final for women, along with the 60-meter hurdles final for men. So lots of finals tomorrow as well. So it should be really, really good sessions tomorrow. So we'll see. I'll probably get up early and we can, if I'm on, you'll know. Spider-Man says, family, congratulations to Jamaica and the United States. BI Strong is what are you asking here? Is there still a world? I'm not sure what you mean here. In 2020, a world championships in 2028? I don't know. It should be a world championships in 28. Because one would be in, yeah, there should be one, but I don't know if they've announced that, or if they have announced that, I forgot exactly where that is. Anika in the house, she says she prays that level is okay. I am so happy for Kishane and Jordan, but also proud of everyone that represents Jamaica. Toriana Best says Kishane needs to fix that back leg in the block. It's an interesting point you're making there. Yeah, we can get into that on another day, but interesting point. I don't know where we are in the. There's some conversations going inside that I may not always catch. Asura is saying that Azu didn't deserve the lane he got. Anthony and Bromell should have should have been side by side. No, there's all these lane dramas there. I don't know what to say on that. I don't think there's a problem with the lane. I think the two fastest gets, what is it now? They've changed it last year. Off the top of my head, I don't want to speculate. I don't want to say it because I may make an error here. I'll have to look it up again. Jules says Jordan deserves it. I know he must be elated. Yeah, he walks away with a medal, and if you come second to Andy Diaz, there's nothing I think you can really say about that, because that guy is special. Ricardo says Frano will be happy with Kishane's PB in the final. I suspect he would. I think one of the things Francis likes to say, right, an athlete should perform their very best at when it matters the most. And in this case, he did when it matters the most. I'm sure he might have issues with execution. That's a different story, but he ran a PB. Probably dynamics, you're right, yeah. Yeah, Barbara, you missed it. I can put the results up again in a second. Sorry, I know I'm behind on your comments there, but it happened already. Jules said, "Did I miss the final? Watch the race again. Kishane was left behind. He had to run. I have to watch it again. Yeah, yeah." Oh, I get what you're saying. I mean, if we're gonna still have a planet afterwards, I don't know. I mean, that's geopolitics. I have some expertise there too, but I don't. That's not. But not on this show. We'll see. Anyway, guys, I've been running this for like 2 hours and 53 minutes. I really appreciate you guys coming through as usual. We'll be back tonight. I think 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Jamaica time with the Mr. Analyst channel. We will be breaking down some of the things that happened today. I'll get a chance to kind of refresh, look back at some of these races, and Leighton and I will break down stuff. Catch you later. Bye-bye.